9 reasons most real estate agents fail in the first 5 years of their real estate career. Number 1, they don't spend enough time in the business. Because of real estate and being a commission-based business, a lot of people like to I'm gonna do it part-time. I'm just gonna dabble in real estate. I'm just gonna get my toes wet, kind of see if it's for me. Guess what? You put half measures in, you're gonna get half-ass results, right? You need to be able to go all in. So I tell agents, hey, you better have 3 to 4 months of reserves, enough money set aside so you can pay your bills, because it may take that long for your first commission check to come in, right? Usually joining a team can kind of fast forward that a little bit for you, depending on their lead flow. But you need to be able to dedicate full 100% all of your energy and effort into being a good agent right off the bat. Like, luckily for me, I'm a recovering alcoholic, so I was able to pour in an addictive way. I jumped in and I was probably working like 95 hours a week when I originally started. 1, because the fog was still clearing from my head and I couldn't remember shit, so I had to do everything 3 times in order to get it done right the first time. But realistically, I didn't have anything else to do. Failure was not an option. I didn't have a backup plan. I had to make it work. So therefore, I was willing to put the time and the energy into it. And a lot of times the agents I see that are just kind of like, oh, I'll call those people later, or I'll prospect later. Like, that is like the recipe for failure in this business. If you're not willing to go freaking head over heels, jump right in with this business, you will probably not succeed. Number 2 reason most realtors fail is they don't have a big enough financial cushion. Most people, real estate isn't like you graduate from college, I'm gonna be a realtor, right? And you've got a bunch of money set aside to go start your real estate career. Usually real estate is a second career for a lot of people. They've done something else and they've kind of pivoted over to decide to become a realtor. So a lot of times people are in a financial, they have a financial struggle with getting started in real estate because they've gone from a 9-to-5 job where they're used to getting paid a salary or hourly to a 100% commission-based business. That's a challenge and a struggle for a lot of people, and they're not prepared for it because they think it's going to be instant or easy. Heck, I've even interviewed agents and they're like, this is commission-based? Like, what do you mean? Like, I gotta pay all this stuff up front? It's a big financial investment right off the bat to be able to get your real estate license, go to real estate school, pay for all your fingerprinting, get your MLS license, get your super key. There's a lot of upfront costs that people don't take into consideration. Then you join a brokerage, you got your brokerage fees, you may have your splits, you got all the stuff, right? People don't prepare usually enough for that, so that it becomes a shock to them, and all of a sudden they're a realtor for 60 days and they're still wondering, like, when's that check gonna come in? Oh, I've got to sell a house in order to get paid here at this job. I've got to actually do the work. The third reason I see a lot of realtors fail in their first 5 years of becoming a realtor is lack of family support. What do I mean by that? Families typically are not prepared for the amount of time and energy that their new realtor family member is going to have to dedicate, right? What does that mean? Nights, weekends, and holidays. We found out we were pregnant probably a couple months into me getting my real estate license, and I'll never forget this, of course. Delivery day of my beautiful daughter Skylar, and I was in the bathroom in the delivery room negotiating an offer. No bullshit, right? That was it. Guess what? Guess where I was on Christmas Eve? Out on the back porch in the freezing cold, negotiating an offer, right? That's the reality of becoming a successful realtor. You have to be able to and be willing to work when other people aren't. A lot of that means nights, weekends, holidays. I don't know how many times I've been in the car with my wife, getting ready to go do something with the family, and all of a sudden, hey Mark, I want to see this house. When? Now. Pull the car back in the driveway, get my wife and daughter out of the car, and boom, I'm off to go show houses, right? That's the reality of this business. Could I say, sure, great, let's meet up tomorrow at noon? If I want them to go call another agent, right? You've got to be willing to go when the business is knocking, right? Like, that's part of this industry. Fourth reason I see a lot of realtors fail is they do not time block properly and they lack focus. You need to focus on the money-making activities first thing in the morning. What does that typically mean? Prospecting. Agents do not put enough time into prospecting. They just want to sit back and wait for the deals to come in. But if you're not actively picking up that phone in order to call other people and outbound prospecting on a daily basis and have that time set aside on your calendar, you will find every excuse in the world not to do it. Guarantee, guess what? Been there, done that. It wasn't until I got specific with making sure that I was constantly prospecting and filling my pipeline that I was able to have a successful and a little bit more balanced and predictable business. But you have to time block if you want to be successful in this industry. Number 5, the fifth reason that most realtors fail in this industry is they do not have the ability to hold themselves accountable. What do I mean by that? Well, they are not used to being a business owner. They're not used to being the boss. They are used to being the employee. When you're the boss, sometimes you can make excuses of, oh, I don't need to do that right now. You got no downward pressure keeping you motivated to go do the things you need to do. So therefore, agents will make excuses. Well, I'll just handle that later. I'll do that later on. Or they don't realize that when you become a realtor, if you're a single agent on your own, guess what? You're also your own assistant. You're also the one scheduling your showings. You're also the one writing the offer. You're also the one ordering the inspection. You're also the one helping the buyer find insurance. You're doing all the things, right? And if you don't properly block your time to handle all of the things, then some of the things will be dropped. And you, as a realtor, you wear a lot of hats in this industry. Some big, some small, some short, some tall. But you have to be willing to wear all the hats in this industry if you want to be successful. The sixth reason most realtors fail in this industry is you can't have a big head in this industry. You can't be a know-it-all. You must be willing to learn. You must be willing to put on the student hat and be teachable. Always remain teachable, right? If you walk around and you act like you know everything that's going on in this industry and you've been a licensed agent for like 30 days, well, there's gonna be problems there. You have to learn about neighborhoods. You have to learn about subdivisions. You have to learn about like cities. You have to learn about the entire market as a whole. You have to learn about the nationwide market and what kind of effects that the interest rates are having, what kind of effects the economy is having on local small sales that are happening in your area. It all trickles, back from up top all the way down to the small little area. Our area here, we're in a little bit of a bubble because we've got 3 military bases that kind of keep us in this little bit insulated from some of the outside influencing factors of the market, because we've always got people PCSing and transitioning into our area. But at the same time, you have to be aware of what's going on with interest rates. You have to know what a loan is. You've got to learn everything as far as insurance. What are some of the requirements? If you're not willing to always remain teachable in this industry, you will be out of it. The 7th reason I see a lot of agents fail in the first 5 years in this industry is they aren't responsive. This one drives me absolutely flippin' crazy. You call to schedule a showing and the agent doesn't call you back. Like, do your damn job. Your number one job, if you have a listing, is to get showings at your listing. If you don't answer your telephone call when someone's trying to schedule a showing, how in the hell are you ever gonna sell it? It makes it next to impossible. So answer your phone, be responsive, and for gosh sakes, just make sure you are staying in touch with your client. I've seen agents take a listing, they get no showings the first week, and hey, what does your seller have to say about that? Well, I don't know. I haven't talked to him. What? Like, there's a surefire way to get fired. Like, you need to be the bearer of good, bad and ugly news. That's another thing that agents aren't, they don't have thick enough skin to be able to tell the truth. You have to be able to completely open and honest feedback to your seller based on the showings that you have. And if you're not an agent that has a listing and you're not calling that other agent who showed your property and asking for feedback, like, what are you doing? Like, that's what your job is to do, is to get feedback. One, so you can educate your seller, make sure that they know what's going on, that you're working for them. Two, a lot of times it'll help you, because if you've taken an overpriced listing, you want feedback from that agent saying, hey, my clients really like the house, they love the neighborhood, but the price just doesn't seem in line with the other homes that are selling, right? That's gonna help you relay that information to the seller, so hopefully they can make a price adjustment in order so you can get the house sold. The eighth reason I see a lot of agents fail out of this industry is their lack of systems, trainings, and models, right? They have no structure. They have no way of doing something over and over again to have the same results as they did the first time, right? A checklist. If you're gonna have an open house checklist to make sure you do all the things that you did at the last one that was so successful. I'm just gonna wing it. Oh shit, I forgot to put the signs out. Well, no wonder nobody came, right? You've gotta be repeatable, duplicatable systems put in place so you can have the same results that you had previously. Like for me, one of the biggest things we do is we have a CRM that we can keep all of our clients' information in. So we go in there and we update all of the information that we have about that particular client to make sure that they know, like, I can always look back and go like, oh yeah, that was so-and-so, their daughter's name is this, and blah, 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 blah. You have all the information. If you don't have that, like, everything you do, you're just winging it, right? How many times do you get in your car and just decide to go driving and go like, I don't know where I'm going? Right? You have a plan, right? You leave your house, you have a plan. You need to have a plan for your business. And hopefully it involves a big hat. The only way you're gonna grow and scale in this business is to have systems, because you have to bring other people in to plug them into the system you've created, right? I didn't have a lot of systems. I was kind of a fly-by-night single agent, but when I got an assistant, well, she started putting those things into place for me, right? I was just struggling and scrambling to get the deal done. She was able to put a system and a process in place that was able to help us scale and grow, right? Because you can't be in two places at one time until you have other people on your team. So a lot of times you'll see an agent, at some point an agent will get maxed out. And I'll tell you, I think I did 48 transactions or something before we ended up getting an assistant. Actually, it was 39. And I probably could have got to 50 without an assistant, but anything above that, I probably would have been losing more deals, more money, because shit would have fell through the cracks, right? So you've got to be able to leverage some of your time and energy if you want to grow a big business. The ninth reason that I see a ton of agents fail: grit, determination, and drive. One of the things I learned from one of my coaches was, you cannot make an agent more productive, right? I know this now as a team leader. I can't make my agents go out and sell more homes, right? They have to have that drive. They have to want it, right? So a lot of times when an agent sets a goal out there, I'm not gonna take responsibility if they don't hit it, if they haven't asked for help, if they haven't plugged in, if they haven't gone above and beyond. People cannot get the same results as someone else if they don't work as hard as that other person, period, right? That's why you'll see some agents will just absolutely crush a given market, and other agents are over here going, what the hell happened, right? Because they're not willing to do the work in order to get the same results that other agent did.